Welcome to Live from Your Laptop. Hear straight from Klaviyo's community of some of the fastest growing brands and partners about how they're growing their e-commerce business and owning their destiny. Hosted by Morgan Lasky, for today's episode, we welcome cbdMD.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Live from Your Laptop. Whether you are tuning in on the West Coast or in London or in Boston like myself, you are definitely in the right place, and we're going to have some fun and learn a few things in this next short hour. My name is Morgan Lasky, and I lead our community events team here at Klaviyo. I am also your host for the next hour, and I am really excited for the show today because I have a ton of questions for our guests that we have on the show today. But I want to know who from the community is tuning in. So please make sure you go over to the chat. Let me know your name, where you're tuning in from, and what company or agency you're with. And maybe you'll get a shout out from me. Who knows? So today on Live from Your Laptop, we are joined by the Senior Director of Marketing and the Senior Director of Digital Marketing from cbdMD. This brand is ranked one of the best CBD products in the country right now, and they have seen tremendous growth over the last just few years. So I needed to get them on the show in front of you guys so that we can figure out just what the heck they're doing so that we can steal and be inspired by some of their tactics. So there were some great questions submitted by you guys when you registered. So I was definitely inspired by those, and we're going to make sure to answer those. But if a question comes up while we're chatting and you feel inclined that you want to get your question out there, please feel free to put it in the chat. If it's a hot one and relevant to the question, I might pop over and bring that into this script. If not, we'll let the community answer it, or we can try to get to it at the end. I love when you guys talk in the chat. It makes my heart sing. So that's what it's all about. So after the chat, we are making an all-natural smoothie that's soothing and relaxing. If you got my email just now, a few minutes ago, I said that you and your dog could enjoy the smoothie together. I want to rephrase that. I was looking at the ingredients this morning and I was like, oh shoot. First of all, there's cocoa in the smoothie and dogs can't have chocolate. Second of all, I mean, unless Micah and Danielle say that the CBD oil we're using in the smoothie is okay for dogs, like, do not feed your dog this smoothie, you guys. I don't want to be, I do not want to have the guilt of hurting an animal on Live from Your Laptop. Klaviyo also doesn't want that press. So please do not feed your dog the smoothie. We will give you a smoothie recipe that you can actually share with your dog. So glad we cleared that up. To wrap it up, in true Live from Your Laptop fashion, we are doing a giveaway. 2 lucky winners today will win an expert kit from cbdMD valued at $315 per kit. And I think Micah and Danielle are going to Vanna White this prize for us.
Yes.
Ladies.
And it opens.
It opens. Oh, it's a flip top. Oh, I love that.
Yes.
Amazing packaging. All right, cool. So there are not a lot of rules on Live from Your Laptop if you're just joining us for the first time. For those who have joined us in the past, welcome back. We are so excited to have you. Just make sure you're muted and let's get started. Danielle and Micah, welcome to the shows, ladies. How are you?
Thank you.
Awesome. Please introduce yourselves.
Absolutely. I am Danielle Crary. I am the Senior Director of Marketing at cbdMD. I've been around pretty much from the start. I oversee a lot of the brand marketing, kind of that traditional marketing side of things. And then Micah joined us, a year ago?
Yeah.
And now I'm having a blast at work. So as you can see, go ahead, Micah.
We had a fun fact.
Oh, my fun fact. Okay. So my fun fact is I have a dog. He is a corgi and he's named after Freddie Mercury.
Love that.
Great. I'm Micah Siegelman. I am the Senior Director of Digital Marketing at cbdMD. I do all the stuff that Danielle doesn't do. So I work a lot on the website, on our paid media, paid social media, all that kind of stuff. So we're kind of the yin and yang when it comes to the branding, the customer feel, and then I come in and I'm like, the data says XYZ. So it's worked out really well for us.
Yep.
And my fun fact is, I'm going to do it. Sorry, everyone. I do a killer Eddie Vedder. I just do. I nail it.
Can we hear it?
You want to hear it now, or should we like wait till the end?
We can wait. Let's make people wait. Let's make them wait.
Let's make
All
them
right.
wait.
Well, ladies, I love it. The yin and the yang. And I definitely did not get the memo for the unicorn onesies. Maybe next time. Let's jump in. So let's learn more about cbdMD. Tell me, how did the company start? What's the mission? And who is your target audience?
Yeah, absolutely. So cbdMD was founded basically on a handshake. It was the idea of coming together and coming up with a product that was a natural alternative to over-the-counter medications that kind of have adverse side effects. That's kind of how we founded our mission of creating a product that is trustworthy. It's something that's created for the masses. It's affordable for the masses. So that's kind of how the company was first started. And that pushed us into our 4 target audiences. First being millennials, and that's because of a lot of our athletes. Social media plays into that a lot. Second would be working parents and professionals. High stress jobs, not sleeping, as much as you need to, or as well as you could be.
Is there.
Yes. Active seniors who may have, some sore muscles here and there. And then obviously pet parents. We do have a full pet line, which is fantastic. And fun fact, our smoothie minus cocoa, you could definitely give to your animal.
Absolutely.
Just no cocoa.
All right. So leave the cocoa out. All right. We'll make sure to mention that later. Awesome.
Yes.
Founded on a handshake. Wow. That's pretty impressive. So where do your products source from? Where do you guys get your products? Are they made in the US?
They are. It is all USA grown hemp. A lot of other CBD companies, source outside the US, and it's just something that we have always stayed true to. We think it's important to, source a product that we can trust, that we can kind of, manage from seed to shelf, and make sure that we're providing our customers the absolute highest product that we can.
Right. That's great. And how did you get your first 100 customers?
So interesting. When we first started the company, it's all about making relationships and partnerships. And we started with a couple athletes, our first of which, if anyone is familiar, was Rampage Jackson, a retired fighter who was also an actor in A-Team. So he definitely helped us kind of do a big splash in social media at a couple events. So we'd like to credit him for a little bit of that. So yeah.
Awesome. And what did you guys do? Just like reach out, did you form a list of potential athletes that you wanted to be like brand ambassadors for your?
Yeah. So yeah, it just kind of worked out. We just messaged him and he replied, and we're like, cool, let's link up. So it was very kind of fluid and very organic.
That's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get into the meat of things, I actually love this question that came from the community, which will set us up very nicely for the next few questions. That question is, what's one of the biggest KPIs or key considerations that you guys think about that advertising must fulfill to support kind of your brand's mission?
Yeah, so in the last couple quarters, I'd say probably since Micah joined about a year ago, we've placed a really strong focus on having unified messaging in all of our campaigns. So previously, maybe our athletes were pushing one product one month, our display advertising was featuring a different product or, a different key differentiator of our company. And we've really placed a large focus on, hey guys, this is what we're going to do for this quarter, or this month, or this week. And it really helps, mitigate any sort of consumer confusion. And we're seeing a great return on that kind of theory and process that we've been working on. So yeah, that's been our huge thing, is unified messaging, one message, don't confuse them. Let's just keep people, understanding what we want to push.
Right. And I would imagine that helps with your return on ad spend. If you're having a unified message, you're more clearly able to see what you're getting in return.
Absolutely.
Depending on those factors. Awesome. So let's start with advertising. You ladies, when we first connected, you guys mentioned to me that you had found the recipe for success here. So we definitely want to know what the ingredients are. I'm going to try to pull it out of you today. Online ads have been obviously a complicated situation to navigate for many CBD companies. We've seen this throughout the years. So tell us how CBD is successfully running ads online with Facebook and Google. And what were some of the, or I guess, what are currently some of the biggest hurdles that you guys are getting over?
Yeah, so it's a really good question. And I also see that we have a lot of our friendly CBD family members here, so I'll give as much of the secret sauce as I can without divulging too much. So when we talk about unified campaigns, as Danielle was talking about, that's really important for us in the digital space as well. So one of the other things that's really interesting about working for a CBD company, as with any company that works in like a vice area, right, where you have extended rules and regulations than the normal companies, is we have to find a way to really play by the rules. When cbdMD first started, obviously like scrappy, getting it together, like figuring it out, all that kind of stuff. All of a sudden we're on the New York Stock Exchange. So we take on, investor money, we have shareholders that we're accountable to. So it's really been a challenge to both function and act dynamically as a startup and really live in kind of this digital world where you have to be on the cusp of everything new. But at the same time, you have to make sure that you have this continuous growth that's happening so that investors are seeing their returns and all that kind of stuff. So the very first thing that we do in any given situation is play by every single rule. So I'm sure if anybody's gotten our Facebook ads, you'll see comments all the time like, why am I not running? I thought CBD wasn't allowed. Like all of that. That's just what our ads are just people complaining that they can't run theirs. And a lot of times what I do is I'll go in and personally message people from smaller companies and be like, hey, like, look, we're playing by every single rule. Send me a link to your website. I'm very happy to like take a look at it and say like, why is this getting
help you out? That's awesome.
Right. Because it is, the whole point of CBD is to bring like health and wellness to the community, right? So if one, what's this expression? Rising tide, all boat thing.
I can't help you.
That's it.
You get it.
We're doing great. So for us, it's play by every single rule. So as a large company, we're really lucky because we have in-house legal counsel. So they stay very abreast on like all kind. Thank you, Pete.
Thanks, Pete. All boats rise with the tide.
Yes, thank you.
Shout out, Pete. So we follow every single rule to the letter. And we're also very lucky to have a CEO, Scott Kaufman, who's very e-commerce savvy. So he understands that you have to spend money to make money. And sometimes you're going to spend money and not see your return for a long period of time.
Right.
So we've been able to do that pretty well by showing him consistently like, hey, this is what we're doing. We're hoping it's going to pay off in 3 months. If it doesn't, here's where our total investment is. Right. And that's really kind of how we work it. It's just like time, follow the rules. It's very boring. Yeah.
It seems boring, but hey, if you want to get your ads out there, you got to play by the rules for now. I mean, there might be some adjustments. Speaking of, I'd love to hear if this new data privacy laws with the whole Apple and Google have been kind of making advertising even more trickier for you guys or not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Yes. But
what are you doing to?
No, it's been tricky. I mean, the good news is we deal in tricky. That's our bread and butter because of where we're at. So almost the same as it would be if it was like a very specific FDA controlled substance or anything like that. So it is tricky for us. Google for us specifically is very difficult. It's also hard because our name is cbdMD. So if we were lucky enough to be one of the great companies out there that doesn't have CBD in their name, like we could use a different landing page. Yeah. We can't use it. We can't send people back to our website.
Right.
So yeah, they are tough, but having contacts in the right areas where you can ask questions has been a big boy for us. So whether we're using an agency or somebody knows somebody who knows somebody, we have a tendency to like reach out and do a lot of pre-work before we actually start spending the money in advertising.
That's actually a good point, to use your resources and your community. I'm sure the CBD community is a big one. And I'm sure there's Facebook groups and forums and people, you can network with people to ask those types of questions. And I'm sure you'll be getting hit up on LinkedIn.
Right.
And also, you guys are with Magento too. So you're not on Shopify. We see a big part of our customers, on Shopify, but Magento is a massive partner of ours. And have they helped you guys get the word out there and there's a little less restrictions there with that e-commerce platform?
So Magento does not have as many restrictions as Shopify does, mostly because Shopify is also a payment processor. So if you use Shopify payments, for a long time, they weren't taking CBD, or they would take it and they were off and they would take it again. Magento has been significantly more stable in that regard. but it's Magento. So it's tricky. It's built for a company that makes 10,000 products as opposed to 250.
Right.
So it has kind of its own
Pros and cons
there, but mostly it's the payment processor that's the bigger holdup for us.
Got it. So aside from digital advertising, you guys are testing the waters with direct mail. There have been a couple guests on Live from Your Laptop where I get excited to talk about direct mail. I know it's not email, but I mean, I love direct mail for some strange reason. I love getting a postcard and a beautiful postcard in the mail. How is that going for you guys? I would imagine that there's not a ton of restrictions there through direct mail and print as there is online where everything's being monitored by the Googles and the Facebooks of the world.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
how's that going?
I'm right there with you. I love something printed in my mailbox. It's just in a world of everything digital. It's nice sometimes to actually feel something, stick it on your refrigerator,
The cbdMD people are wearing unicorn onesies.
Hello.
Yes, we are.
Yes.
They are.
But yes, direct mail has been awesome for us. That coupled with some of our package inserts. So, we're kind of doubling down. We're reaching out for new customer acquisition, and then we're re-engaging our customers who are purchasing, whether to come back for their second purchase, their third purchase, their eighth, or going to a specific landing page to get some more information on a new product. But yes, direct mail has been awesome. And our partner there has really awesome ways to kind of track things in the back end of Magento. They're integrated. So it's really great, the kind of information and tracking that we can get from that. Whereas traditionally with direct mail, it's kind of cross your fingers and hope it works well.
Yeah.
We get way more information with our current partner. So yes,
love
direct mail, and anyone that wants to be added to our mailing list.
Sign up.
Yep.
So that's how you're collecting actual addresses, is through people submitting them, or do you have
a little bit of both? So what we typically do when we're looking for new customer acquisition is we're removing anyone from our current database because we don't need to spend extra money to acquire them because we already have them.
Yep.
So we're working with our partner, and they have a database that we can pull from and basically say, hey, the month of May, we want to target people who are 55, they have a marketing career, they own a dog, whatever it may be. And we can kind of create our own segmented list, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that's working out for you. Hopefully I'll get a postcard from you girls soon.
Yes.
Another performance marketing tactic that has worked really well for you guys in getting in front of these different audience buckets that you have and driving new customers is affiliate marketing and influencers. So I want to take some time to chat about this. Last year, you guys actually partnered with 3 major podcasters. Joe Rogan's one of them, Dax Shepard, and I think there was another one that I was reading about. But tell us more about this strategy. Who are some of your affiliates? How does again, so many questions in
yes.
the question. So if we get lost, we'll get back on track. But
absolutely.
Who are some of your affiliates? Tell us about this strategy. And then we can go into talking about, how the influencer program works, how you're kind of differentiating the differences.
Yep. So we've got kind of 3 buckets of partners that we talk about here. So one would be our podcast partners. One would be our kind of traditional affiliate marketing partners, and then our influencers. So I'll let Micah speak about influencers, but our podcast partners have been fantastic. And if you had asked us about 2.5 years ago if we were interested in podcasting, the answer probably would have been no. And then we kind of, took a long shot and partnered with Barstool Sports and the Joe Rogan Experience, and it really paid off. So we've really shifted gears in the last couple of years and placed a really strong focus on podcasts. But we don't just partner with anyone in that field. So it's got to be someone that, their target audience aligns well with our demo. And, someone who actually does take our product. If we, kind of start a conversation with a new partner, we'll make sure that we send them product and we say, reach back out in 2 weeks. Let us know how you like the products, because we want it to be very organic.
Yeah.
We don't want to just send them a read and say, hey, read this like a robot. We want it to kind of just be, what are their personal experiences with it? So yes, Dax Shepard, Smartless, Barstool Sports, Pat McAfee. I mean, they've all been such great partners, and we've been long-term partners of all of them, which is awesome. So kind of coupled with that is our affiliate marketing program. So we've got some traditional affiliate partners like CBD School, CBD oil users, and then some non-traditional affiliate partners, like we've done some page buys and third-party articles and things like that we'll do tracking links with. And we've done that since the very beginning, since 2016 when we first started. So that's been a huge part of our business. And it's just a great way to kind of push some advertising too, because it's all commission based. So there's no harm, no foul. And that's kind of how we built our smaller influencer program, was kind of, created as a sub-department of our affiliates. So I'll let Micah talk a little bit about our influencers.
Yeah, influencers are great. I mean, let's not beat around the bush here. Everybody needs influencers, right? So we actually kind of function with two different types of influencers. So we have our influencers or our athletes who we have ongoing relationships with. We have contracts with them. They have things that are required for them to either post or participate in, or maybe we get a round of golf with them every year or whatever it is. And then we have our influencer program. So our influencer program is relatively new. We're actually getting ready to revamp it a little bit, move on to some new software to make it a little bit easier to work with. And it really is involving peer-to-peer reviewing, right? So especially in a space like this, peer-to-peer reviews matter so much more than what we're just telling people.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do is empower our best existing customers to share this with their communities. And then they get a little bit of a commission, their friends get a little bit of a discount, we get user-generated content. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So this is from our website.
From your website. So you have all of this public on your website, which I love. There's a whole section that talks about being a partner of you guys. And, if you love cbdMD products, like share them and get, swag and discount. So it's really cool. Like if you guys are listening in, you should go to their website and check out that page. This is just a snippet from that page. But I love the idea of this.
And it's for anyone. It's for anyone and everyone. If you have 10 followers, you have 10,000, you have 100,000, it doesn't matter. It really is all about that peer review and trusting the people that you're following and trusting their word. So anyone can join.
Yeah. Cause that's quality over quantity. You may say, oh, I have, 100,000 people in my, influencer program, but there may be that one person that has 5 friends that really need the product. And that could just be really beneficial for both of you. So that's cool. I love that. Cool. So there was a question here in the chat. I would imagine you obviously cannot share how much Joe Rogan costs you guys, but how did you even get in touch with him? Like, did you use an agent, or, if people listening in today want to try to hit those big players in the podcast space, like, how did you guys go about doing that?
It was an email. So I kind of just did a little research and knew that he would be a really great fit for us, listened to a couple of his podcast reads, and honestly went online, found who his marketing agency was, and reached out and just said, hey, we'd like to partner.
Awesome.
And it all happened from there.
So
I'd like to say it was a lot harder and we had to grapple and we had to do all these things, but we didn't. It was very, very easy. And they've been great partners to work with. So yeah.
That's awesome, you guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And are you guys able to share do you use like an affiliate management software or program to help kind of organize and manage all this?
Yeah, so we're kind of stumbling through it. So we currently are utilizing our existing affiliate program to do it, but it really wasn't designed for that. We're going to be switching over to Grin, GRIN.io.
Cool.
Awesome. It's a good program. I would say the tip and trick for that one is it really needs to have kind of a dedicated resource. So we just this year have been growing our social team significantly. So we finally have enough people where we're like, okay, we're going to go ahead, tackle this, manage it, and have multiple hands on it at a given time. It's not a set it and forget it.
Right. No. Awesome. So let's dive into your retention best practices. Someone from the community had a question, which was, how do you effectively build your community? How do you make medicine and functional health sound sexy and lifestyle led?
That's a good question.
I'll leave this one for Micah.
Well, we wear unicorn onesies and hang out with Joe Rogan.
Yes.
No, it's really interesting. So my number one thing that I can say is listen to the data. When cbdMD was growing, it was growing because it was almost positioning itself as like the monster of CBD products, right? So it's like, let's be cool. Let's have these hard hitting guys. Let's come out with like great packaging and like starbursts and things like that, which works to a point, right? And then all of a sudden you have to have customers coming back a second time, a third time, a fourth time. And so what we've spent a lot of time doing is picking through our customer database and not saying, who do we think we're talking to or who do we want to be talking to, but who's buying from us? Like, who are our actual customers? And then kind of pivoting from there. So you can see it on our Instagram, right? If you scroll all the way down to the bottom of our Instagram, you can see the personality change happening with our organization.
Right.
At the very beginning, it was like, boom, let's put, Rampage on there. Let's put, all these heavy hitters. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh shoot, who are we? And it starts to fluctuate a little bit. And then within the past few months, you're seeing real people on there. You're seeing tactical ways to use the product, that sort of thing. So what we really found out is we should be doing a lot more listening than we have been. And if we speak genuinely to our customers and answer questions that they're asking us, they'll stay.
Right. And how are you guys coming up with content? I know on your website, you have a ton of content on your website. And when we talk about Klaviyo, you guys have so much going on in Klaviyo, but how are you coming up with content ideas, yet keeping it personalized? You talk about this data being accessible to you and you're listening to people. So what are you listening to that you're providing back to them from content?
I mean, we use the search bar quite a bit, right? What are people searching for? What are questions that they can't get answers to? We're in Google Analytics every day saying like, why is our bounce rate so high on this page and not on this page? Why is our time on site on this page so much different? We're using heat mapping to say like, okay, people are clearly searching for the answer to a problem here. Right. And then what we're able to do is take that data and turn it over to Dee and her team, and they are able to very eloquently say like, okay, come with us on this journey. And we'll take this journey together. You're going to ask this question in a day. Let me answer it for you now. Right. So we're like trying to stay one step ahead of the customer at any given time.
Yeah. And we take a lot of, again, Mike is more of the analytics person and I'm more of the like brand marketing person. So content and design live under me, campaigns and all that. But what Micah's analytics tell us, we then share with the content team. We've got a great content team led by our director of content, Tyler Miller. He then works very closely with our campaign team and they come up with, hey, if there's one, analytic that we're not really liking where we're ranking, how can we fix that? Let's create a campaign this month that targets that. How do we want to speak to either this group of people that is, kind of fumbling on this page? So it really is a full team effort. We really tap into all of our resources, which is great that we kind of have all of those support departments all under one roof.
Yep. Yeah. We didn't even mention this in the beginning, but I think you guys said the company started with like 10 employees and now you're up to 200. So you guys have resources, but if I'm a smaller brand and I'm listening to this, give me like one or two tips, when I'm a small team and I'm literally a team of one trying to create content. What should I be focusing on?
Answering questions, right? So if you're figuring out what your top of funnel strategy is going to be, don't go for everybody, pick a lane, hang out, right? So like, if you're like, okay, well, this month I'm going to focus on people who are having trouble sleeping. What are the questions that people have about trouble sleeping and that sort of thing? And then when you're talking about like your retargeting and things like that, you shouldn't be giving the same message over and over. You should be giving different perspectives on the singular message. So if your first ad or whatever it is says, are you having trouble sleeping? And then you get somebody back to a relevant page, your next one should be like, maybe you're having trouble sleeping because of XYZ, or did you know we have a 60-day money back guarantee? Or you have to give people like different perspective of the same thing. And then they'll buy.
That's great advice. And then lastly, with your retention strategy, you guys do have a rewards like referral program. Do you want to briefly talk about that? And this is also on your website, a little visual for people. I like how like vibrant it is.
So that was an internal discussion.
We have no fun.
We have zero fun. And for some of you guys who are on the call from other CBD companies, we repeatedly get emails from our CEO that's like, I would rather join their rewards program. I'm like, great. Until we change what our site
This is a work in progress. Okay.
It's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress.
But no, it's great. I mean, look, give people points and they'll buy more stuff. And the more they stay, the more they try. We come out with new products all the time. So this is really great. And actually we're working right now on ways to get it integrated into our email so that people can really see, like for any of you who get Sephora emails, right? I'm just like, oh my God, I get a free product today.
Right.
So that's one thing that Dee and Daryl Rollins, who's our email manager, who's fantastic. they're working really hard on getting this stuff kind of up and running.
Awesome. And yeah, we're definitely going to talk about Klaviyo in a minute here. I actually did have a question that slipped my mind. Oh, I hate when that happens. Beauty of natural conversation. Okay, we'll move on. We'll come back to it if I think about it. So want to jump into Klaviyo more specifically now. We know that, you can say and do so much more and get more bang for your buck in channels that you own, such as email. Lots of questions from the community came in, but I want to start with the data because it's kind of a trend we were going off of, and you guys mentioned it in the beginning. Because you guys are really using the data in Klaviyo. So the first question from the community is, how have you used Klaviyo to gain insights on your customers' wellness goals? Is this through Klaviyo's predictive analytics or something else?
So yes, all of that. So one of the things that's been really important and has been a really major initiative for Danielle and her team is to not just send hella email to everyone.
Yeah.
Right. So we know that like the more email people get, like you don't necessarily get an unsubscribe rate, but your open rate starts to go down and all that kind of stuff. So segmentation has been very, very big to us. We definitely use the predictive analytics in terms of customer lifetime value.
Yep.
So this is a huge thing that we do, which I think we probably will get into a little bit more later, but a one-time purchaser is treated very differently in our system than a 3 or 4 time purchaser. They just are, they should be. One of them is worth hundreds of dollars more to us than the other ones. But then the other thing is turning somebody from a 1-time purchaser into a 2-time purchaser is almost as important as talking to those 5-time purchasers. Right. And so we do that by taking a look at the existing product lineup that people are buying and making sure we're speaking to them specifically. So a topical user isn't necessarily a PM user, isn't necessarily a pet.
Right.
Yeah. That makes sense. And you're able to do that in Klaviyo with segmentation. So that you guys recognize that, and then you're bucketing them out in Klaviyo.
Correct.
So how are you driving email signups?
Yeah, easy question. So we've got some pop-ups on our website. So when you come to our website, as long as you're not coming incognito, you will get a pop-up that basically says, hey, are you interested in our products? Give us your email and we'll kind of, work through educating you, proving to you that we're the brand you should trust. And then they kind of enter into our pre-purchase flow. So we've got a lot of analytics on that. We've, added some fields, removed some fields to figure out what people are more comfortable sharing. So, for a couple months, we added phone numbers so that we could utilize SMS with Klaviyo. But we know that people do not mind sharing their email because everyone's at least got a junk email that they don't care, signing up something for. So typically just asking for the email is the easiest for us. And we get just more email signups that way. So we utilize our homepage. We'll utilize our campaign landing pages. We'll utilize, social media or display advertising to get people to those pages to sign up. So again, kind of going back to that unified messaging and campaigning throughout every department, because, we wouldn't get the traffic to these pages if we weren't using display advertising or utilizing, a Barstool Sports swipe up to get to this page. So
absolutely,
it really is all unified, getting as many people and as many eyes to these signups as we possibly can. And, through these pop-ups via Wise Pops and another third-party partner of ours, we've seen a huge increase in our signups in Klaviyo, which is awesome. We're targeting way more people than we used to.
That's awesome. And this is just one of the campaign examples, is this 30-day challenge. That's intriguing to me. Like, that's something that I would sign up for. I'd be like, yeah, let's go 30-day challenge. I want better
live.
Highlight.
Sign up.
Yeah, sign up. It's live right now.
Do it.
I want to sign up. I want emails and I want a postcard.
Yes.
I will say one little tip that's been really great for us, and especially if you're working with a small team, we don't send any of our advertising to the homepage. 0. So every single time you see an ad out there, a Facebook ad, programmatic, native, like everything's going very specifically either to a landing page or a specific part on our site.
Right.
On that part, we do custom signups based upon source. So like if somebody clicks on a sleep ad and comes to our sleep page, they'll get added to a specific list. So we know if we're having a big PM push, we'll send to them.
Correct.
Oh, so they'll automatically get added to a certain list in Klaviyo and then get triggered an email from there. That's awesome.
Yes. We have crazy amounts of different lists that all funnel into our master segment.
Amazing. That's awesome to know. Cool. So your Danielle, you kind of were starting to go into this, but your pre-purchase and post-purchase flows do really well in Klaviyo. What's the strategy and what content is in them that is resonating so well with the audience? And I think we have some examples. So we'll put up the first one, which is the pre-purchase flow. This is, it was very long. So, and
Yes.
we had to kind of make a map out of it. Thank you to Kelsey for her beautiful arrows.
Yes.
But this is the formation of your pre-purchase flow. So can you explain what the pre-purchase flow is? And then I think we have a couple creative examples from it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm not going to take any credit. This is totally our email marketing manager, Daryl, his kind of brainchild. But essentially we know that if someone comes to our site and they didn't purchase, it's one of two things. They didn't really know much about the product, or they just don't really know about CBD and maybe they accidentally clicked there. But if they stayed on there for a certain amount of time and they decided to sign up for our email, we have one opportunity to educate them, and to educate them in a way that's not overly aggressive, but not too passive either. So our welcome series is very much, and our welcome series and pre-purchase is the same.
Okay.
So we don't want to be aggressively pushing sales, but we want to make sure we're asking questions before they have a chance to even ask the question. So yes, I mean, we go through the whole welcome to the family, here's all about our products. Why should you trust cbdMD? What would you take CBD for? And we've seen some really, really great responses in return on this welcome series. And just recently, Daryl had, done something in the back end where if someone is in our welcome series and they have not purchased yet, they will not receive any of our other promotional emails. That way we can kind of make sure that, we're not inundating them with too many emails, or we're not pushing these heavy sales on them when they haven't even made the decision yet. We want it to be a very lax, not overwhelming kind of environment for them to first experience our products.
That's awesome. That's good to know. I think that was a question that I had was, if they haven't purchased, are they still getting like your campaign? Because we're going to talk about your campaigns, but they're not getting inundated with all these flows. And your pre-purchase welcome series flow, it looks like that's a 2 or 3 week flow period that you keep them in there for.
Yep, 3 weeks.
Have you tested with the kind of frequency of that?
Yep, we've done a couple that were 7 days, 14 days, some that were back-to-back days, putting 1 day in between. So we think we found a really good medium here where, they sign up, they don't necessarily want an email, every day for the next 5 days. It's a little overwhelming. So yes, we've played around with a little bit, and we think we really have a good, going back to the pun we keep using, a very great recipe for ourselves.
Cool. So what about so let's talk about, they've already purchased. And I actually love this strategy. You briefly mentioned it in the beginning. You have a first time buyer post-purchase flow, and then you have a second time buyer post-purchase flow. So let's talk about the differences of those, because normally you just kind of have one post-purchase flow, and then, if they buy again and again and again, not really sure what happens from there. Every kind of brand does different, but would love for you guys to share kind of the tactics here and why it's working well.
Yeah, I can kind of talk about the idea of it, and then Micah can kind of dive into some more analytics about it. So it is very important when someone places their first order that you continuously educate them. We're going to continue to say that, but education is key. I always tell people you have to look at CBD like a daily vitamin. If you took one vitamin C tablet on Tuesday, by Wednesday, you're not going to feel like 100%. So it's very important to take CBD for, consecutively 2 weeks. We try and encourage 30 days, which is why we have our 30-day challenge going on right now, to try and entice people to actually take it for 30 days. Because your body will start to, push the CBD where it needs it the most, whether you're having trouble sleeping or, knee pain, whatever it may be. So we want this first time post-purchase flow to, again, answer those questions before they have the opportunity to even ask them. Yes, continue. Yes, if you don't feel it right away, that's totally normal. And 14 days isn't a magic number for everybody. Everyone's body reacts differently to it. So just continuously giving them a little bit of a nudge and a reminder, to take their product, and to just trust the process and keep going. And then the difference between that and our 2 times purchase flow is, like Micah was saying, it's very, very different to kind of have someone move from a 1 times purchaser to a 2 times purchaser. Whereas when you have kind of that 5-6 times purchaser, you kind of know that you have them. They're kind of hanging out over here. You don't have to have as many touch points with them. But going from that 1 to 2 is huge. So we hope that, with our 1 times purchase flow, we're getting them into that 2 times purchase flow. And all 3 of these flows really do piggyback off of each other very nicely. Micah, what have you seen kind of on the back end as far as, increase in how many times we're getting certain customers to purchase again, maybe for the 2nd time, 3rd time?
Yeah, so this has been a big boy. This has been a big boy for us. Splitting our customers into buckets allows us to know how much we can spend on a new customer and how much we can give away for existing customers, right? Because we really want to reward the people who have been there for a long time. Our average customer, I don't know if I can share this information. Let's do it. Our average customer purchases from us more than 2 times. Our average customer purchases more than 2 times. That's nuts, right? And it hasn't been that way. So since we've been splitting these flows, I think, let's see, probably in the last 4 months, we've increased the cadence from 1.7 something to over 2 times in a purchaser, 2 times purchasing per customer. And that's really been exciting for us to kind of get over that threshold. The other thing, I did see one comment pop up and it was like, when do you ask for reviews? So we ask for reviews in both of these post-purchase flows. We ask for reviews, I think probably like the 4th or 5th email would be my guess in the first one. And then the second one, we ask for it a little bit faster.
This is the second.
Okay. Yeah. So customer satisfaction, email 4. That's when we're going to ask for a review in that one. We do it in a good way. So we utilize Typeform for that. If people give us a certain star amount, then we feel comfortable like uploading that into our thing. And if they don't, then we know we can reach out to those people, or we'll do a separate customer satisfaction survey to people who give us like 3 stars or below and be like, what's up? What's going on? But yeah, the other thing that's really great about splitting these families is we can very slowly shift away from our own bad habits. So we've been known for a long time as kind of the brand that is always on sale. Like we always have sales and stuff. We want to get away from that. Like that's not necessarily something that we're like wanting to do, right? We're a very high quality product. So by splitting these flows apart, we get to treat people a little bit differently. Right? Our existing customers might be used to always getting 25% off. We're a new customer. We can say, here's the real value in our product. Let's make sure that we're not kind of muddling those lines.
Right. And speaking of discounts, so Kels, if you go over one, I actually loved this particular email in the second purchaser flow because sometimes with CBD products, you have to try them out. You have to try different ones out. You don't necessarily know if the one that you purchase first or second is going to continue to work for you. So I actually love this. You address like, are you not feeling results? If not, like here's a promo code to help you get what you need. So great strategy here. I love that. Bert is asking for your customer lifetime value. I don't know if it's a competition.
No, it's good though. It's good. It gives us.
I believe that it is. Yeah. All right. Cool. I love that. Two different flows. Treating those buyers as they're going through your funnel a little bit differently, personalizing that experience for them. Awesome. So what are you specifically using campaigns for? Another question from the community was, what is your sending cadence for campaigns and how do you balance that out with flows? And I think that we have a few of your best performing campaigns, whether it was click-through rate, open rate, or highest revenue generating campaign. These are 3 examples of those top flows. So just talk to us a little bit real quickly about campaigns with you guys.
Absolutely. So campaigns kind of vary for us. So sometimes we've got a quarterly campaign, a monthly campaign, a weekly campaign. The way that we utilize the word campaign internally is basically just any sort of marketing initiatives that's going to touch multiple departments. So the one on the left was, a warehouse sale to help us get through some inventory, to make room for some new awesome products.
We also used that one. That didn't go to anybody who's purchased in the last 90 days.
Correct. So that was more of a retargeting. The middle one is what we're running right now, our 30-day challenge. So that was for people who didn't win the giveaway, but we're giving them some sort of incentive anyway, since they entered. And then CBD month, our month, we love it. So basically how we handle flows and campaigns is, again, if someone is in that first pre-purchase flow, they're not getting any other campaign emails at all. If they're in that first time purchase flow, we'll set precedents. So if we're sending an email that we really want them to get, we'll go in the back end of Klaviyo and make sure that they're getting that one instead of, hey, in the next 48 hours, we don't want them to get a float email. We want to make sure that they're getting the weekend promotion that we're pushing, whatever it may be. But typically what we like to do is let people go through those flows. And we're a little bit more lenient once they get into that 2 times purchase flow, because we're okay with them kind of seeing more of what they'll see essentially after they get out of that flow.
Exactly.
So typically,
going to say that, like, they will get, like, and your guys' unsubscribe rate is very low. Like, so people aren't unsubscribing, so they will eventually get these type of fun campaigns. So don't inundate them with everything first.
Right.
You can do that in Klaviyo. You can have those triggers and turn those triggers off.
Absolutely. Yep. And we've actually loved that because our previous email platform, we couldn't do that. Yeah. So that was something that we were very, very excited about with Klaviyo.
Our customer service team was very excited about
it
too.
That's awesome. I bet they were. And then the last question in Klaviyo. So how are you guys liking Klaviyo's SMS? How has this capability in your Klaviyo dashboard helped you connect with current customers or even drive new purchasers?
Yeah. So we actually started SMS for Cyber Week, was the first time that we kind of utilized Klaviyo's SMS. It was the first time we had utilized SMS in general. So again, we did a pop-up. We asked for their email and for their phone number. And we said, hey, if you sign up for our SMS program, you're actually going to get a better offer during Cyber Week.
Right.
So sign up, kind of be that VIP member. And that's how we've looked at our SMS database as kind of our VIP/testing database. A lot smaller than our email database, as you can probably imagine. So it's a lot easier for us to be like, okay, let's test, a 30% off code that is, 6 hours long. And let's see how that performs with our SMS database before we push it to our email database. Or, hey, let's see if, the couple 100,000, whatever people of email react the same as, a smaller group on SMS for new products. So we just launched sour gummies, and we had reached out to our SMS database and just said, hey, if you guys, buy today, you'll get free gummies with any order. We just want you to try them and let us know how you think about them.
Yeah. Let's make it like urgent, because text is so urgent, right? It's like right there. So I love that. And this World Health Day, this actually brought in a lot of money for you guys. So
yes. And this one, it's actually a little tricky with SMS because carriers will not allow CBD. So we cannot say CBD. Yes. Yeah. So we had to be very creative, which is why it's in the creative, the image. Our link cannot say cbdMD, or the text cannot say cbdMD. So we found out, we hit a couple bumps in the road and we were like, oh, okay, this is probably why it's doing that. So ever since we adjusted a little bit. Yeah. It's been great.
That's great. Yeah. Good to see that. Good to know that. Good tip. Okay. Last question, you guys, and then we're going to make a smoothie. What is next for cbdMD? Can you give us a little sneak peek into any big announcements this year or what's coming up on your roadmap?
Well, I can talk product.
We just had a really big one, actually. We just signed a new golfer.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really big for us. Patrick Reed joined us the day before the Masters. He did pretty well in the Masters. I think he was like 4 under. So he was a... What?
Sport.
Like sport.
I have no clue what that means, but okay.
We're in unicorn onesies. Does it look like we know anything about the Masters?
I know lots of things about the Masters. Stop generalizing. No, we just signed a golfer, so we're very excited about that. We have a lot of new products.
Yeah. We just launched our sour gummies, like I was talking about. So our gummies are one of our best sellers. They're really easy for like a first timer CBD user to try. So we launched sour gummies. They're fantastic. If anyone is a fan of our current gummies, please try them. They are great.
They're really good.
Really, really good. And then we've got some new products coming down the line. Maybe some, something go in your drink, a little.
Okay.
Little something.
Oh,
yeah.
Teaser.
Yes. But it's a whole new line. We've not done something like this previously. So it'll be a really big splash.
Yeah. And our
pun intended.
What?
Pun intended. I said splash.
Got him. That's why she makes the big bucks, guys. We also, our pawn line is crazy. So our pawn line is called Paw CBD. It's one of the fastest growing pet CBD companies in the world. So really, that baby does it.
Everybody else is very excited about that too.
We're into it.
Definitely going to try it out. All right. Well, thank you, ladies, so much. Incredible information that you just gave us in that last 50 minutes. If you guys didn't take notes, have no fear. We recorded this and we'll send it to you after to catch up on. But thank you, Micah and Danielle, for sharing some of those amazing tips with us. I would say don't hesitate to reach out to them on LinkedIn, but
you can start your message with, "I'm not trying to sell you advertising." We'll answer.
Yes, as long as it's catchy and creative. Sounds good. So before we make our way to the kitchen to whip up a smoothie, I'd love to know if you guys enjoyed the show today. If you're still with us, please let us know how you liked today. Would you recommend it to other business owners in the community? So I'm going to launch that. Don't worry, it's anonymous. Won't hurt our feelings. It was an amazing show, though. Come on, you guys.
Give ourselves a 5.
One of my favorites. Yeah. So let's make our way to the kitchen. And Kelsey has a slide with the ingredients. If you guys are going to make it with us, pop into your kitchen. If not, just watch us. Sometimes it's just fun to actually watch us make these things. And we'll go from there. So
Here, put it right here. Oh, no.
Set up here.
We're doing it. We're doing it.
Okay, I cannot take credit for this recipe. It's actually something that I had forever ago when I lived in New York, mom and pop smoothie company. And she knew I was moving. So she actually shared her recipe with me and I was forever grateful. So I make these at least twice a week. So we've got our cbdMD 300 milligram.
No one can see
no
it
one can
because
see
there's
me.
a slide.
Oh, okay, perfect.
Oh, wait, we can take the slide down now.
I'm Vanna Whiting it right now.
As long as you talk through the ingredients.
Yep. We've got our 300 milligram natural tincture. Wait, where's the thing for this?
Over here.
Oh, where?
Ready.
Oh, no, the cup.
Oh, the cup? I
Yeah.
washed it.
Nice.
Hold on, I'll get it.
Perfect.
We're doing really well.
You guys are doing great. This is what Live from Your Laptop's all about.
Yes. And I did not get almond milk. I got oat milk.
Okay, that's
Right.
okay.
All the same.
Okay, so we need milk,
2 bananas.
2 bananas.
Do you have ice? Yeah. I have ice. Super ripe bananas work the best, or you can freeze them. Sometimes I like to freeze them, but if I've got ice, I'm good with that. So we've got 2 ripe bananas, about a cup or so of ice. I usually use shaved ice just so it's easier on my blender, but Mike has got a better one than me, so we'll take it.
If this blender breaks, I'm just expensing it. So it's fine.
I'm actually using my Ninja. I hope that works. I
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
dig out my blender.
No, you're good. Everything goes in. You know, you don't have to like stack it any sort of way. You don't have to, worry about putting something at the end. It all just kind of goes in there together. I do extra cinnamon in mine because I really, really like cinnamon.
Cinnamon it up.
Yep. And then I use this organic cacao powder.
Cacao.
But
Cacao.
Cacao. How do your cacao? By the way, you guys do not feed your dog this smoothie.
Yes, no.
Cacao.
Everything up to this point you could.
Only give your dog raisins and chocolate bars.
How much cocoa powder should we use?
I usually do about a tablespoon.
Ooh.
Okay.
But you could do a little less if you don't like it as chocolatey. It just really adds some flavor to it.
Turns out you were made for cooking shows.
Oh, wow.
My dog is like staring at the powder right now. You guys should see this.
You said I could eat it.
And then I'll just add about a half a dropper of our natural oil to it.
How do you, I have a question. How do you know how much to add? Is it by body weight? Is it just like, how do you determine that when it comes to like adding it to smoothies or food?
Yeah, I think you really got to test what works best for your body. I mean, there's all different strengths and milligrams. So this is 300 milligram. I mean, for me as an avid CBD user, I mean, I could probably put in a couple drops of this.
Okay.
But I always say start small and work your way up. So yeah, in our tinctures, it's kind of confusing, but some people, are waiting for it to go all the way to the top, but it's about 3/4 of the way full. And that's a full dropper.
Got it. Okay.
The
Understood.
other thing that's kind of great is we offer like a whole bunch of different ways to take your CBD. So if the dropper seems intimidating, we have soft gel capsules, the gummies, like
Right.
we're really, really strict on figuring out how much goes into each thing. So our stuff is like very consistent,
Right.
which is good.
All right. Awesome. And how much milk are we adding?
I do about a half a cup, 3/4 of a cup. It just depends if you like it more watery, if you want to have it through a straw, or if you're okay with a little chunky.
Like it chunky. Speaking of, Shannon is looking for the Eddie Vedder impression. Micah.
If it's Shannon Heffron, she's already heard it.
Okay, you're cheating.
But I never wanted to say no. Okay, you guys ready? And I heard you guys were clowning us about Magento in the chat, so this one goes out to everyone who didn't clown us about that. Okay, ready? Let's get into it. And Allison, you're welcome.
Hear me spoken, hear me spoken yesterday.
Wow.
Pretty spot on.
Yeah.
That is really good. Oh God, our audience. Oh God, somebody give me a 6 out of 10. Come on.
6.
All right. I'm gonna go on mute because I got to blend. All right, we're blending.
Yes. Got him. All right, we're all blended up. It is such a good smoothie. It's such a good thing just kind of have in the morning. If I'm driving to work, we're going in the office a couple days just to get some, person action and
FaceTime, FaceTime.
Yes.
Super quick too. I think the problem that I have with smoothies sometimes is you have to like do chopping and add all these ingredients. And
No, this is so easy.
Soothing about that.
Yeah, and it's not too fruity. It's very, very good.
Okay, well, cheers.
L'chaim.
Oh, not bad. You can't even taste the CBD oil.
No,
No.
not at all.
No. The other thing is we make a lot of flavors. So I like the natural, but we make like berry and mint and orange.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I always recommend the natural if you're going to add it to any sort of a recipe. That way it just kind of is very subtle.
Right. That makes sense.
Yep.
Okay. Well, the time has come, you guys. We have to do our giveaway question. So put your smoothies down. Get your fingers ready. We are doing the first and the 20th person who answers in the chat. The correct answer is going to win the cbdMD expert kit, each worth $315. So Danielle and Micah, what is the trivia question?
All right. The trivia question is, what athlete did we use to help get our first 100 customers? First name is totally fine. Don't need first and last.
Okay. Okay. They're coming in now. All right. So I'm going to announce the first one, and then Trevor on the back end is going to count out our.
Oh my gosh. You guys kicked ass.
Yeah, they love this. I'm telling you, this is like
Eddie Vedder, more Eddie Vedder.
Best parts of Live from Your Laptop is the trivia. Will, Romeo, you are the first winner. Oh, look at you. I see you. Hands up. Woo! Congrats. And then Trevor will come back with the 20th winner. Awesome.
I got I got Linda Zuckerman. It's my 20th.
Linda, you are our 20th winner. Congratulations. So Will, we will make sure to reach out to you, and you will hear from Micah and Danielle from the cbdMD team to get that prize. All right, everybody. Well, that is the show. We have come to the end of our time together. I want to give a massive shout out to Micah and Danielle and the entire cbdMD team. We are super grateful here at Klaviyo that you have chosen us to be your partner on your journey and helping you grow. We cannot wait to see what you guys do this year. Also, a very big thank you goes out to everybody who tuned in today. Much love goes out to you guys in the community. We know how hard you're working, and this show would not be possible without your love and support. So thank you for coming back week after week. Next week, we are taking a week off from Live from Your Laptop, but that does not mean that there is not another event planned. My team is working it. So next week, we have our monthly community chat where experts from the community get together to chat about hot topics. And next week, it's all about SMS marketing. So we're very excited for this event happening next Wednesday. We'll be back with Live from Your Laptop on the 27th at the end of the month with Dr. Squatch. So yes, you might have seen their Super Bowl commercial. We're definitely going to talk about that. But Dr. Squatch will be on the show with us at the end of the month, and they're going to actually talk about benchmarking. So they'll talk about how they're using Klaviyo's benchmarks. among so many other things. Lastly, you guys will get an email in a few hours with the replay of the show today, some additional resources to help you grow your business, a very generous 30% off promo code from cbdMD, so you guys can go and get your wellness on track with some of their amazing products, and a link to sign up for next week's community chat, and then the next Live from Your Laptop with Dr. Squatch. That's all I've got, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you, Micah and Danielle, and have a great rest of your week.